Greetings, friends. It's your friendly neighborhood PhD, Dr. Judd Burton, coming to you with another Beyond report on this February the 2nd, or excuse me, February the 3rd, 2021. And I'm just going to ask you to bear with me. I had a surge protector go out on me, and so my lighting situation's a little lackluster today. Hoping to remedy that here in a few minutes, but I thought I'd go ahead and make a report. Anyway, if you do enjoy the content, please click a like, subscribe, and share. And I do appreciate all the support, all the increased support that's coming in from all the show responses of late. But let's jump right into today's news. Today, of course, is the day the music died 62 years ago, February 3rd, 1959, a plane carrying Buddy Holly, who is from Texas, Lubbock, Texas. Richie Valens and JP the Big Bopper Richardson crashed outside of Clear Lake, Iowa during a winter tour after a navigational malfunction in their plane, and we lost three of the great legends of the early days of rock and roll, um, memorialized in that famous song by Don McLean, "The Day the Music Died." Um, Also, I wanted to pass along that I recently saw a movie on Netflix called The Dig, and some of you have probably heard about it and maybe have even seen it, but it details the work that the archaeologist Basil Brown did on an Anglo-Saxon site, a rather significant Anglo-Saxon site, Sutton Hoo. Um, Uh, it was really great. It had Ralph Fiennes in it. Did a wonderful job, and what I liked about it is that it detailed um, the expertise that a lot of amateur archaeologists, um, not novice. There's a distinction there because I've worked with plenty of amateur archaeologists who are consummate experts in the field and their specializations. And that's one of the things that doesn't really shine through in a lot of your documentaries, is that you have a lot of people who volunteer. Archaeology is their hobby. They do this on the weekend, um, and that kind of thing. They're involved in local archaeological societies, that sort of thing. And so Basil Brown was really kind of an autodidact when it came to um, uh, ancient history and languages and things like that. His father had been an excavator, and so he learned a lot of the trade from him. And he took a lot of correspondence and night courses as well, studying a number of ancient and modern languages, and of course ancient history as well, particularly that of his native Britain. But just a really excellent film. And another thing that it really illustrates is how the British Museum came in and really usurped the credit, you know, that was due Basil Brown. I don't want to give too many spoilers here, uh, but he's hired on a private contract basis to look at a number of mounds on a property owned by a rich widow. And he begins the work, and the news spreads about his find, and the British Museum comes in, the big museum. Uh, Unfortunately, this is a story that's repeated. Now, thankfully, Basil Brown has gotten his due and given due credit since then. But unfortunately, this is something that happens and sort of often flies under the radar in the history of archaeology. It made me think a lot about Frank Calvert in the Troy excavations, the excavations of ancient Troy. Calvert was a British diplomat, consular employee who lived in northwestern Turkey and he actually owned the hill Hisserlich that he and Heinrich Schliemann would excavate uh, uh, that would gain such notoriety as the historical Troy. But Schliemann got all the credit. He sort of swindled Calvert, and Calvert was the real expert when it came to field archaeology. Schliemann was really a butcher, and so you've got a similar kind of thing happening in this movie, The Dig, on Netflix. And so I highly recommend it. It's really well cast, really well done. Gives a very accurate picture of not only field work but also sometimes what goes on when these egomaniacal personalities uh, come in and try and push hardworking, um, competent um, archaeologists out of the way just for their own personal gain. In other news, this week I launched a new certification from the Institute of Biblical Anthropology in biblical demonology, and like the apprenticeship in biblical anthropology, it's a 12-course module. You'll study along similar axes. The Old Testament and New Testament surveys are geared towards focusing in on demonology, but there's specialized classes like biblical demonology, giantology that's geared towards studying that, the watchers and the giants, uh, and things like the history of witchcraft, witchcraft within the biblical world, folkloric implications, the anthropological study of demons, um, ethnodemonology, if you will, and much more. And it too is on sale this week for $150, and you can get it through Friday. Uh, I may extend that sale by a day, but certainly you'll be able to get it through Friday. And I'll put a link in the description of that. I'll also put a link in the description to some information about the movie The Dig, um, and an article about the death of Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and JP the Big Bopper Richardson. Also have a 10% off sale on books this week, and I'll put a link in the description to that. My new hypothesis, language hypothesis, on the origin and spread of words for king or ruler and that connection with the Rephaim is getting a lot of traction. And I've been on a number of shows, lots of people wanting to talk about it, hear about it. Uh, I'll be talking with Josh Peck about it very soon on his show, and Daniel Otts, the Edge Radio, will be talking about it with him next week. Now, I've decided, because it's a preliminary report, I decided to sort of bypass the usual academic journal channels and make it available to you, and you can actually download that for $3.99, and I'll put a link in the description as well so that you can take advantage of that. So stay tuned. Lots coming. I'll be speaking at the Alpha and Omega, or rather the North Texas Alpha and Omega Conference, March the 26th and 27th, and I'll put a link in the description to that as well. In a few weeks, I'll be filming some Fringe Pop episodes with Dr. Michael Heiser and my good friend and colleague, Dr. Aaron Judkins. All right. Well, thanks for bearing with me with strange lighting and the surge protector going out, but the show must go on, right? Plus, I wanted to touch base with you guys. Lots more content coming. Again, if you like it, click the like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can get regular updates. And again, as always, I really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. The channel is getting bigger gradually, and those of you who know me know where my heart is with this. The kinds of things that I'm studying and devoting my training and my talents to, I feel is very important and timely for the world that we're living in right now. All right. Until next time, Godspeed, be careful, and we'll see you again soon.